All right, guys, welcome back to Shooting with Nerds. It's been too long, but it is time to get the 1 year review done on shooting a Dasher, this entire rifle. I'm going to make it brief. I don't think diving crazy deep into stuff is what you guys want. I think you guys want basic facts, straight to it, and try to make it simple. So that's what I'm going to do here. About 1 year ago, I got this rifle in. I've been shooting 6.5 Creedmoor for 5, 6, I don't know how many years. It's basically what I've shot forever. I did end up getting a Pro chassis, getting a Dasher build, GCP action, just kind of completely put together, and we now have 1,300 rounds on it. I'll go ahead and start off with barrel. Right now at 1,300 rounds, we're starting to see a little bit of fire cracking. This thing still shoots great. I'm running my 109 Projos right about 2850, 2820, depending on the weather. And this thing's doing awesome. Shoots laser beams. I thoroughly enjoy this thing. I love Dasher. I'm not going to move away from the 6mm. It's pretty much perfect for me and my needs at PRS. So barrel life, better than expected. Everybody told me at 1,000 rounds you wouldn't be able to hit the broadside of a barn, and that is definitely not true. I'm sure it might be depending on your speed and which you're sending your Projos, which purposes with it, but for competition, right at that speed with 109s, regular cleaning, it's doing fantastic. The Archangel action has been nothing but a pleasure. Zero complaints about it. There's nothing crazy special other than it is a smooth action that works every time. Doesn't need to be overly complicated. It's just functionally perfect. With that said, brass that I've been shooting with this thing, Alpha Munitions, the OCD stuff, it's amazing. I know that Lapua is coming out with some Dasher brass. I'll probably end up picking up some of that. But Alpha has impressed me. When I bought my new Zero press in December, I oversized half a dozen pieces and they got right into the lot. Started having a couple case head separations. The Alpha brass actually stayed together and was fully extractable on the clock. So it was kind of something's wrong, but we'll figure that out when the beeper goes off. And everybody's eyes were kind of like that big when they were like, wow, so you had 2 case head separations and they stayed together and it didn't take you down. So hats off to Alpha for that one. Crazy good brass. I think I already mentioned it. We are shooting 109 burgers. I played with 105s. 109s just, they float my boat. So I prefer the 109 long range hybrid targets, and they go exactly where I want them to, sometimes more than I wish. It's a great projectile. So jumping into the Pro chassis, we've now been shooting this for a year, coming out of the Legacy chassis, which we still have the rimfire rifle. The Voodoo is sitting in that right now. So one of the biggest things that took me the longest to notice that nobody talked about, and it was actually a good friend of mine, David, that made the point, was how much lower the action sits in this chassis than another chassis for competition, okay? Whether it be an MBT, an MPA, a Foundation, or whatever it may be, the Vision just has a little bit lower placement, which means like this is a 1.5 mount, and my cheek riser is not very high. So it's very interesting. Like if you can see the distance between the top rail, the space between top rail and barrel, there's no big gap in there or anything. So I'm extremely happy with how this Pro chassis has basically provided lower action, which keeps it lower in my shoulder, which means when I fire around, that recoil is more straight back into the pocket rather than high or low and getting down or up. It's very much straight back. It was very well thought out during manufacturing. So that was something that took me a long time to notice. It's not something you see right out of the box. It's like I said, Dave mentioned it, and then we started looking at it and feeling it. We were like, dude, that is significantly lower. So all around, I'm crazy impressed with it. I did change a bunch of weights out this year, trying to get it to be as light as possible. We'll unlock it here and show you guys. Just balances right there with pretty much no weights in it. I believe this rifle is sitting right around 20 pounds. And I'm a little guy, so, you know, that's like 20% or 18% of my weight or something is moving this rifle around. I do have a bad habit of using the bell housing, but we haven't had any issues with that so far. But as far as this Pro chassis goes, I could not be any more impressed. The adjustable bag rider, once or twice has been used during a lot of prone shooting. I actually like the ability to drop that down if you're in a weird position at a range that's just different than flat concrete prone. The length of pull is very solid. As far as the cheek riser goes, the new slotting, where it's kind of got like a groove that it sits in, really helps with any deflection left or right if you push that hard with your face into the cheek rest. Met a couple guys this year at a few two-day matches that just were like, hey, I'm really impressed with how between the Legacy and the new Pro chassis with the cheek riser. So, and then it's got some internal adjustments up under here for forward or reverse, so that's an improvement as well. There's an OBI on this side, Old Balls Inc. If you guys don't have backpack hair, that is just, should have done that years ago. Otherwise, I have had no issues with this rifle at all. It shoots lights out. It really has exasperated some of my weaknesses in shooting. Nothing like taking a one-hole gun out and going and shooting a craft paper drill at 200 yards off of a barricade to show you where you suck. And that's a good thing. That way you can figure it out, practice, fix, build a better skill set. So 1 year in a dasher. My census is I'm not getting away from a dasher. I am going to continue shooting this dasher for many years. Sure, I could go to a 22 dasher or a lower recoil, a higher speed cartridge for PRS and still be fine, but I think I'm as far into the barrel burner game as I want to right now. Maybe down the road we'll play around with something in that realm, but for now, and I can make this 6mm go way faster if I want it to. So I've got lots of room to play with this thing. I think 6mm is like kind of the real balance between like a 22 dasher or a 22, whatever you're going to do in that 22 cal. A lot of guys are shooting the 25 now because they can run one cartridge and they can shoot PRS and NRL, you know, have two barrels made, same reamer, different actions. It's still just, so there's options in that world as well. But for me, I'd still rather have my 6.5 for NRL Hunter and a dasher or a 6mm rifle for PRS. So maybe down the road, we'll play with a 25 as well. For now, I'm going to keep shooting this dasher because it has done me very well this year. So if you guys want one, GCP Rifle Company in Florida, you can pick up a barreled action and a Pro chassis all in one cart. They make great products. They support me. They support a lot of matches. Vision out in Norway is kind of one of the leaders in just precision rifle shooting over there. Dude, you can't go wrong. With that said, leave a comment below, smash that subscribe button, and we'll see you again here in a week or two.